Welcome back, dear viewer. Here at Psych Insight, we view the world through the lens of psychology and bring you practical applications to your life. If you find this content helpful, please share, like, and subscribe to join our community and stay updated with our latest insights. Thank you for watching. Today, we're delving into an intriguing question. What if I told you that working harder might not always yield better results? It's a thought that might seem counterintuitive, especially in a world that glorifies overachievement. We're often led to believe that the more effort we put in, the greater the rewards. But the reality is a bit more complex. Let's bring in a concept from economics, the law of diminishing returns. It's the idea that after a certain point, each additional input starts to produce less and less output. For example, picture this. You're studying for an exam. First hour of study might be incredibly productive, but by the 10th consecutive hour, your brain is likely to be fried, and you might find yourself forgetting more than you remember. This is exactly what happens when we push ourselves too hard. We think that we're ramping up our productivity, but we're actually slowing it down. This pursuit of more can lead to negative returns, where our output actually decreases. Not to mention, it's a surefire path to burnout. But here's the catch. The best work we're capable of often feels effortless. It's when we're in a state of flow where we're so absorbed in the task at hand that we lose track of time. It's not about grinding our gears until they down, but about finding that sweet spot where our skills perfectly meet the challenge. So, does that mean we should stop striving for more? Not necessarily. It's about finding balance, about recognizing when we're pushing ourselves beyond our optimal point. It's about learning to work smarter, not harder. But how do we do that? How do we avoid falling into the trap of overachievement and instead find that state of effortless flow? Well, that's a journey we're about to embark on. In the coming scenes, we'll explore strategies from Greg McKeown's book, Effortless, on how to make our actions more. So does that mean we should stop striving for more? Not necessarily. Let's delve deeper. Have you ever felt lost in the midst of a challenging project? Perhaps you were missing a clear finish line. Let's talk about the importance of defining what done looks like before we even think about starting a project. It's like setting a destination before embarking on a journey. If you don't know where you're going, how can you expect to get there? It's easy to get lost or sidetracked, and before you know it, you're stuck in a maze of confusion, feeling overwhelmed and defeated. The beauty of defining your finish line is that it provides a sense of direction. It's like a lighthouse in the night, guiding you through the stormy sea of tasks. With a clear endpoint in mind, you can focus your efforts and stay on course. It's a beacon that keeps you moving forward, even when the going gets tough. But it's not just about having a destination. Defining what done looks like also serves as a powerful source of motivation. It's the vision of success that propels you to take action. Every step you take brings you closer to your goal, and with each stride, the finish line becomes more tangible. It's a race, and you're the runner who knows exactly where the finish line is. Moreover, having a clear definition of done prevents you from becoming overwhelmed. When you start a project, it's easy to get swept away by the multitude of tasks and responsibilities. The challenge seems insurmountable, and you may feel like you're drowning in a sea of uncertainty. But by defining your finish line, you can break down the project into manageable chunks. Each step becomes a mini goal in itself, making the entire journey less daunting. So next time you're about to take on a new project, take a moment to visualize your finish line. What does success look like? How will you know when you've achieved it? Define it, write it down, keep it in sight. It will serve as your compass, guiding you towards your destination and keeping you motivated along the way. Remember, before you start, always define your finish line. Every great journey begins with a single step. Your projects are no different. Have you ever stood at the foot of a mountain, gazing up at its peak hidden in clouds, and felt an overwhelming sense of awe? That feeling, my friends, is not too different from the one we experience when we consider the magnitude of a new project. The myriad of steps, the intricate details, the looming deadlines, they all seem as daunting as scaling the highest peak. However, let's remember, even the most ambitious projects ever created started with a single, simple step. The power of that first step cannot be overstated. It's like the key that unlocks the door to the journey ahead. It's a commitment to the journey itself, a pledge to see it through. Focusing on this first step is the best way to avoid feeling overwhelmed by all the following steps. This is not about ignoring the rest of the journey. It's about breaking it down into manageable parts. It's about taking that first stride, no matter how small, and using it as a springboard to propel you forward. This first step, it's like the first domino in a long line. You push it, and it sets off a cascade, each domino toppling the next. This is how momentum builds. That initial push, that tiny step, gives way to the next, and the next, and the next. Before you know it, you're farther along than you ever imagined you'd be. And let's not forget, this first step is also a test of courage. It's a leap of faith into the unknown. But remember, courage isn't about not feeling fear. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And taking that first step, despite the fear, is the most courageous thing you can do. So remember, when you're standing at the base of your project mountain, don't let the height intimidate you. Don't let the journey ahead overwhelm you. Instead, focus on that first step. Embrace it. Take it. Let it lead you into the adventure that awaits. So take that first step, no matter how small it might seem. When in doubt, simplify. This is the key to a successful project execution. Simplicity is the art of eliminating the unnecessary, and it is this art that paves the way to our goals. You see, the road to success is often littered with extraneous steps, tasks, and distractions that can lead us astray. But what if, instead of adding to our path, we subtract? What if we start from zero and only add what is absolutely essential? This is the idea behind the strategy of starting with zero. Before you take the first step in any project, ask yourself, what are the minimum steps required for completion? It's a simple question, but its answer can drastically alter your approach. By identifying only the essential steps, you eliminate the unnecessary and focus your energy on what truly matters. And remember, every step in your plan should add value. If a step doesn't contribute to reaching your goal, it's time to cut it loose. This isn't just about saving time or effort, it's about precision. It's about making sure every move you make, every resource you invest, and every bit of energy you expend is pushing you closer to your finish line. But starting with zero is more than just a strategy, it's a mindset. It's a commitment to simplicity, to efficiency, and to purposeful action. It's about recognizing that complexity often breeds confusion, and confusion can be the enemy of progress. So we simplify. We clear away the clutter, the noise, and the distractions. We distill our projects down to their essence, and then, and only then, do we execute. So the next time you're faced with a daunting project, remember to start with zero. Identify the minimum steps needed to reach your goal, eliminate the unnecessary, and focus on the essential. It might not be the conventional way, but it's a way that leads to success without overwhelming you with complexity. Start with zero, find your minimum, and execute. Perfection is overrated. Yes, you heard that right. You see, in our pursuit of perfection, we often forget a fundamental truth. Imperfection is a part of the journey. And this journey, my friends, is where the real magic happens. So let's talk about the concept of the courage to be rubbish. It's a phrase that might make you chuckle, but it's a seriously powerful tool in your toolbox of personal growth. It's about allowing yourself to be less than perfect, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. It's about releasing the fear of failure and embracing the opportunity that it brings. When we strive for perfection right out of the gate, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Perfection, in its traditional sense, is an illusion. It's a mirage that keeps moving further away, no matter how hard we try to reach it. But when we give ourselves the freedom to be rubbish, to mess up and make mistakes, we open up a world of learning and growth. Imagine trying to create a masterpiece without ever having picked up a paintbrush. It's unlikely, right? The same goes for anything in life. You must start somewhere, and that somewhere is often far from perfect. The key is to start, to take that first step, however small or imperfect it may be. Embrace the messy, the imperfect, the rubbish, because it's in these moments that we learn the most. Each stumble teaches us something new. Each mistake brings us one step closer to our end goal. And in this process, we're not just working towards a goal. We're growing, evolving, becoming better versions of ourselves. This is the essence of the courage to be rubbish. It's about understanding that it's okay to fail, that it's okay to not be perfect, because it's through these failures, these moments of being rubbish, that we truly learn and grow. So give yourself permission to fail. Remember, in failure, there's a lesson to be learned.